Well, I gotta do some repairs to my motorcycle. We went riding down to Benazet Memorial Day weekend and had a bit of carnage. After we got home, we found a few things that needed some attention. One was the tour pack. The other one, I had a blown shock seal on the air shocks. Blown air shock seal. This is my 2004 Harley Davidson Ultra Classic. You wouldn't know it's an Ultra Classic because it's missing a few things that I don't like the lower leg fairings. Totally hideous. It's also filthy because it lives in a barn. It's drafty and dusty. I'm not big on keeping her shiny because that shit don't matter to me. Got, I think it's got 75 and some change. 75, 557. 75,557 miles. This bracket was broke. My tour pack sets on that. That bolt's under here. I went out to the garage the next day and there was oil under it. Inside the garage, we're outside now. But there's a puddle of oil, looked like it was coming out of the exhaust. And after freaking out because I thought my bike was losing oil, I said, how in the hell does the oil go from the exhaust port down the pipe, around the curve, up a pipe, around a different curve, and then out the exhaust? Took the saddlebag off and realized it was shock oil leaking out of the shock. So that was a relief. It's got the air ride, bagger air ride. It's decent, but they never hold air. Everybody I talked to was putting coilovers on, so I figured I'd give it a shot. So I got these. "12-inch coilovers, 1 inch shorter than factory." Now I'm a pretty tall guy, at 6'6", but motorcycles look like monster trucks with the suspension that's on them. I want it to sit down a little bit in the back. Since the tour pack broke off, I get a detachable system and a solo seat because my wife rides her own bike and that thing is hideous. Well, I'm going to tear this thing apart, put the new shocks on it. I also got that fell off when I was riding, so I got a new one of those. Here we go. So with the tour pack falling off or breaking off, took all the speaker wires, antenna, rerouted them, and drilled a fancy little hole in the side of that with a square drill bit. So I put some speakers in the lids. Still have my tunes. So here's the shock. Just a couple of big stupid bolts and the airline. The airline just crosses over the other one. Let's get them off of there and throw them in a dumpster. Well, here it is. Installed. Coilover shocks for Harley Davidson touring. As far as I know, these are not performance shocks, which this is not a performance bike. just needed something that wasn't blown out. And get rid of that bagger, wobble, weeble, oops, whatever you call it. That's what it is. Well, I'm gonna put the saddlebag back on. Take this thing for a ride. I did get that new floorboard on there. It's nice. Custom windshield cut out. I'll put these 14-inch meat hook ape hangers. They're just normal for me. I could literally touch my knees with my thumbs with stock handlebars. This is a lot nicer. A lot nicer, a lot better posture for riding, comfortable, all around better. They look decent too. Well, they look good. So, saddlebag on, go for a ride. I'll let you know what I think. Well, there it is. Just got back from a ride. I went around the block. Is probably 4 or 5 miles. Nothing to complain about. They're doing their job. Probably nothing to write home about, but they're better than that. Stupid air shocks. Got rid of the wobble. You know, that bagger wobble that these things all have. Nice coil over shock will fix that. I used to think the airbags were a superior setup, and they're just not. So if you think that, change your ways. These shocks that I showed you in the beginning, they're like $170 from Dennis Kurt. What I really like is, with them being 1 inch shorter than the factory ones, that swing arm, you can't see it here, right? It is right there, but you can't get rid of that. The swing arm is exposed with the factory ride height, and it sticks out like a big pink boner. So to have that gone is tremendous. I like it a lot. I can feel it's. I wasn't looking for a necessarily lowered deal, but it's the look. I wanted it to sit down in the back, and I think accomplished that, surprisingly. So I'm pretty happy overall, and well, it's getting late. I'm gonna go have some dinner, call it a night. See you next time.